Welcome into week 3 of Oakland Overtime. As always, Jenna Rose alongside Jason Ross Jr. Exhibition play is a thing of the past. Regular season is upon us for multiple sports that are back on campus. And with that action comes a brand new episode brought to you by the United Dairy Industry of Michigan, Meyer, and Great Clips.
One of the reasons why we love bringing you this show is not only for the recaps, the breakdowns, and the previews, but also because we enjoy personalizing and humanizing OU athletes. On this week's episode, we are filled with wonderful stories on multiple athletes that you will not want to miss.
Along with those special feature stories, we're going to be recapping the action that took place last week as well as preview upcoming matches. So let's get the ball rolling on this week's edition of Oakland Overtime.
Oakland Golden Grizzlies taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Wins their second straight set. Here's Muth on the left side now. Wenzel to Nunez, looks for Thompson. Thompson a soft touch, and it gets down.
The Oakland women's volleyball team opened up their regular season slate down in South Bend, Indiana for the Notre Dame Invitational. The Golden Grizzlies went up against the number 15th ranked team Western Kentucky, Loyola Chicago, and the number 25th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
When you look at the last 3 seasons now, not including 2020, Rob Beam has taken his team on the road to play a ranked opponent, which means OU women's volleyball is used to this kind of tough competition. Didn't come away with a win during that 3-match invitational. However, we learned a lot about this crew throughout the course of that weekend.
Coach Beam says that the team loves to push the envelope and test their abilities against some of the best, which is exactly what they did. To surprise of most of the country, they were able to work the Notre Dame Fighting Irish into a 5th set. It was a back and forth battle, but the Fighting Irish was able to edge out a upset.
Won that 5th set, 15-13 did the Irish. However, when OU went down 2-0, the comeback was so fun to watch. You harken back to the 3rd set, which OU won 25-14. They held Notre Dame to an .045 hitting percentage as a team. Conversely, OU hit .333 offensively as an entire group. So that's when it really started. Backed that up with a 4th set win, pushed them to a 5th, ultimately were edged out. But to take one of the nation's best and a top 25 team to the brim, it was really admirable to watch. And I think, again, we learned a lot about this crew.
There were plenty of positives to pull. Outside hitter Jamie Walling earned herself a spot on the all-tournament team, and DS Lindsay Whiteman recorded 71 kills, which ranks her 8th nationally after opening weekend.
You know, this is going to be a fun team to keep tabs on. OU women's volleyball is back at the arena this week playing Bradley and Eastern Michigan. We're excited to see you there later this week, and make sure to stick around because we'll have an exclusive interview with middle hitter Jamie Walling later in the show.
We had the opportunity to travel to the world-renowned Oakland Aquatic Center for this week's segment of Behind the Black and Gold, sponsored by the United Dairy Industry of Michigan.
We caught up with OU men's swimmer Rudy Aguilar, who has been one of the most dominant and consistent figures in Horizon Link swimming for what feels like a number of years now. So you will not want to miss this conversation.
Rudy opted to redshirt last year. You'll find out why in the interview, but we'll get to hear from the 6-time Horizon League champion himself what has made him so successful over the years.
My dad and I, we first started swimming. Honestly, it goes way back, like as long as I could remember. If I had a distinct memory, though, it was when my mom, she worked at Lifetime, and so we had that free, I guess, membership to enter into the Lifetime pool whenever we wanted. So me being my competitive self all the time, my dad got me into racing, 1-lap races all the time. So that's how it started, and he saw that I had he thought I had a natural talent, and it wasn't until I wanted to go into it, and I would say that I really wanted to start going into it when I saw Michael Phelps do his thing in '08 with the 8 gold medals, and so I wanted to do something like that, and I was a kid dreaming, and yeah, that's how it started. What Michael Phelps did in '08, how that motivated me, it went in alignment with how my dad raised me in a way. What I mean by that is, in my family, we always strive to be the best at whatever we do, whether it's in academics, sports, whatever it is. It's the mindset that whatever you do, you just got to go out and be the best that you can.
Rudy's a very intense individual. He's a very focused individual. He knows what he wants, and he's very, very thoughtful and meticulous in going about and trying to accomplish his goals and what he sets out. And he's, I think, because of that, it helps him be as successful as he has. A lot of what we just talked about, the fact that he is so meticulous, that he does have goals. Every day he kind of comes in with a game plan, and he sets out to accomplish that. He's very meticulous in his stroke mechanics. He's got a very beautiful stroke. I don't know if people really, that's something that you talk about a lot in competitive sports and stuff, but in swimming it's a tremendous asset. He's very, very efficient. He's very smooth, and he's a perfectionist. He's always striving to be better than he was the day before, and whether it's in his stroke mechanics or it's in the intensity and the mannerisms in which he sets up his practices and gets through his practices. So yeah, he's got a game plan, and he sticks to it pretty much every single day.
My decision to redshirt last year, it was more of trying to see what was the best for me, but also what was the best for the team. My redshirt experience was definitely a dream come true. Those 10 months flew by. Every time I think about it, I tell myself, did that really happen? Did I really train with Olympic coaches, Olympic swimmers, Olympic gold medalists? Like, that's what I mean with that. It was a dream come true, and it filled an area in me that God placed there for it to be filled, and to not only grow as a person, but as I am here now, I'm here stronger as a person. I'm more mature. I feel like I can lead my team better. It's all about the journey. It really is, because you could get to whatever destination you may have or have in mind for life, but more surprising than not, you get to that destination and you tell yourself, oh well, this is really it. So it's not that destination that defines who you are. It's more about the process, and it's enjoying the process more than anything.
For him instantly. Ball slotted ahead, looking for Keteman. Evans plays it. There's a shot, and it finds the back of the net. The Golden Grizzlies get the jump. Dylan Borchek, of course.
At the top of the show, we talked about how Oakland women's volleyball matched up against the number 25th ranked team in the nation in the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. OU men's soccer welcomed in some tough competition of their own on Sunday, with U of M making their way to campus.
And OU set the tone early in that match. It was Dylan Borchek in the 15th minute scoring the goal to make it 1-0 in favor of the Golden Grizzlies. However, Michigan would answer back with the first of two very heartbreaking goals here in Rochester. That first one came in the final minute of the opening half, and then the second came off the foot of Mark Ybarra in, the final second of double OT to steal a road victory in the 109th minute of that matchup. So certainly a tough loss for OU to suffer, but one that you can certainly look back on and take positives away, but it was heartbreaking in the end.
Head coach Eric Pogue said that hopefully the team can learn from this and make it a priority on finishing halves. The team is going to make their way to East Lansing to square up against Michigan State. We mentioned earlier in the show that you're going to get a double dose of volleyball this week. We had the opportunity to chat with outside hitter Jamie Walling on what has made the team so successful, and especially that hard back and forth against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Walling is also heading into her 5th season as a Golden Grizzly. Let's check it out.
So It probably started with my mom and my sister. I never actually wanted to play volleyball. I was really intimidated by it, like wearing spandex. I always wanted to wear basketball shorts. And so my mom just kept pushing me to try out. And then my sister was really good at volleyball in high school, and she ended up playing D1 volleyball as well. And so watching her go through that process, I was like, oh, I can do that. I'm gonna do that too. So then I just kind of followed in her footsteps, and yeah, she definitely made me love volleyball and want to love volleyball. Yeah, she definitely taught me a lot, and even outside of volleyball, she's been an amazing influence in my life, and my sister's always been someone I look up to. But volleyball-wise is like never having regrets, so I'm here because I want to ring, and I want to put it all out there. I'm going to go as hard as I can, do everything I can for me and my teammates, and she kind of instilled that in me from the beginning. So I chose Oakland because I really loved the team environment. The way that the coaches talked to the players and the way that the girls interacted with each other was so enticing. It was very exciting to watch, and it was something that I wanted to be a part of as well. I'm so proud of everything that happened. The way that we compete, the way that we were talking to each other, interacting with each other was so positive and uplifting. Like, people who were playing were looking at people that were on the sideline that were giving us advice all the time. Like, no one really felt bad for the situation they were in. Like, everyone was there helping each other because we all wanted to knock off a top 25 team so bad. And it was so cool to see the team interacting at that level, that's so high level. And man, it was so fun to compete that hard. It was so fun. Oh man, I'm so excited for every game this year. This is the last time I'm playing college volleyball, and I just want us to go out as hard as we went out against Notre Dame. It's going to be a really fun year if we can keep it up like that.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for taking the time to talk with us on this week's episode. We love the way that she talked about her teammates throughout the entire interview, which inspired our social media post of the week.
You mentioned the word teammates. Everyone's a teammate here at OU. We have basketball players, swimmers, and golfers coming together to take in some soccer throughout the course of last week. Just really neat to see, and thought it'd be a cool, fitting social post of the week to wrap up the show.
Once you're a Golden Grizzly, you're always a part of the Oakland family. As we close out today's show, we're going to look ahead to next week. OU women's soccer is looking to bounce back from their 2 previous losses. They'll be welcoming in Toledo, then traveling down to Lexington to face Kentucky.
And as we mentioned, Jamie Walling's OU women's volleyball team is also back on campus. They'll kick off their week on Thursday at the O Arena against Bradley, then on Sunday against Eastern Michigan. Also, OU Cross Country is hosting their annual Golden Grizzlies Open on Saturday, so it should be a fun, jam-packed week here on campus.
There's a lot to look forward to. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 3 of Oakland Overtime. For Jason Ross Jr., I'm Jenna Rose. We'll see you then.